Hi there! Welcome to my video about packing for pilgrimage, specifically the Holy Land. There are so many incredible destinations throughout the world that travelers go to pilgrimage for religious reasons. For me, this time I'm headed to the Holy Land. I've gone there before, cannot wait to go back, and I've learned a few things along the way. So just sharing a couple tips. I'm by no means an expert. I'm a mom of 5, really not a full-time traveler, but in the experience of going to different places from Poland to Italy to Haiti to Guatemala, and in this case, the Middle East, I wanted to just share some things that I've learned and wish that I knew before going the first time. So first thing, and we'll cover everything from the spiritual preparation to the emotions of when you're there and to the practical. So that's what I want to start with as you pack. Now, different trips require different expectations and needs. So if I'm going to Italy, I might pack a few dresses, maybe some ballet flats, maybe a more tailored metropolitan kind of wardrobe. You're taking in the history. You are being swept away by the heritage, and whether it's the Middle Ages and you're looking at the Renaissance in Florence, or you are in Rome and you're looking at the great history or the Vatican, there's so much that is just a whirlwind to take in. The Holy Land is a different kind of trip. It is no less potent and powerful emotionally, but it's a much more humble, I think, in terms of how I prepare. So I kind of let the trip take me, if that makes sense, because you're going for a very sobering, sacred, beautiful reason. And first things first about the Holy Land, it is very much, if you live in the United States, like our own country. They take US dollars, most people speak English, and the things that you would hope to find here in the United States, you can pretty readily find there as well. So that should be a comfort number one. But also what to wear. It is not a trip for me anyway, and I'm talking about a religious pilgrimage. If you're going to Tel Aviv and you're going there for a beach getaway, that might be different. But in this case, it's not a trip where I'm going to be packing a lot of bling and jewelry and fancy clothing, not at all. So I wore a shirt as an example of something that I might wear. And of course, it depends what time of year you're going. Now, I went in the fall and I'm going back in the spring. So comparably, the temperatures are, depending on where you go, between the 60s and the 70s. If I'm in Masada, it might be in the high 80s, but if I'm in Jerusalem, it may be cooler in the 60s. So, and I really think that that's kind of across the board, except if you're in the summer, of course, and it gets quite hot. And I'm not an expert, so I just want to let you know that's what I've experienced. So I wear something like this because you are going to be going into churches. You're going to need to be dressing modestly and be layered. And I'm a woman, so half the time I'm cold and half the time I'm sweating. I got a hot flash, I got to take something off. So I try to wear a shirt where my shoulders are covered, but then I also always have with me a good scarf. And this happens to be a Samantha Brown brand scarf, but I love it because you can use it for a lot of different things. You can wrap it on your head if you're going into a holy place. You can put it on your shoulders if maybe you took your top layer off and you just have a tank top on. And of course, you can actually wear it as an actual scarf. It comes in handy for so many different reasons. And this is a lightweight material. It's like a linen. So I really recommend that as well. It's not too heavy, and it's just a good accessory that you can kind of put in your bag and have in your carry-on or whatever. So I definitely recommend the scarf. So I also then want to show you luggage before we get on to the emotional part and kind of what books to bring and how to spiritually prepare. So this is a brand new luggage set. I don't know if you can see. I'll kind of show it up to the camera. So this is Samantha Brown, and if you watch my other video, you'll see I'm a huge Samantha Brown fan. I've used her luggage for probably 5 years or more around the world. So just using everything, not just the good and the high moments, but also the frustrating times and the times that test your patience, using that as well as an occasion to grow in your faith as part of the pilgrimage. So this is the bag, and it's pretty deep. I don't know if you can really tell. It's got plenty of pockets. It's got here on the side for a water bottle or anything you might want to put in there. And you can get that on HSN. Another one that I really love are the packing cubes. I think packing cubes are pretty widely used by most people now, but if you haven't, you must. And I'm not someone that is, big into selling you things, but I'm telling you, this is totally worth your investment. I had a girlfriend and I was telling her about packing cubes and she's like, no, I just put my stuff in a bag and then I squeeze the air out and it's just the same. I don't know what it is, but it's not the same. And so she got packing cubes, loves them, doesn't travel without them now. And you can get them on Amazon. There are all sorts of kinds. I will link up the kind that I use on Amazon. And then with this set that I got from Samantha Brown, they also have some packing cubes. Here's the deal with these. You can roll up 4 pairs of pants, and here's another one, 4 tops. So you have basically 16 outfits in these 2 packing cubes that match back to one another that you can pack. And I love that because it simplifies. When I go, to be honest with you, lately, I'm just like wearing leggings, but a longer layer shirt because I want to be comfortable. And I recently learned, I knew this through personal experience, but there's actually a name for it. It's called jet bloat. I'm sorry if this is too much information, but you actually have expansion internally when you're at that high altitude. And so it's really important to try to drink 8 ounces of water for every hour that you're in the air. Whatever might not agree with you on the ground, just don't even eat it because it will be even worse when you're actually flying. And so even recommendations I know I've seen online to take Gas-X over the counter before you go. Because what would happen for me is every trip I'm like, what is going on? And then I would have like the fizzy water, and that just doesn't help. And that, creates more gas bubbles. So that's kind of a side note for the ladies, but that's why I would wear leggings, because I wouldn't want anything like too tight around my waist. But it is also a comfort factor. So whatever you're comfortable, maybe that's long skirts, just the reminder that it should be modest. And then, okay, so this is the big, I'm going to try to see if this works here, hard side bag. So what I did, because it's black and you're not supposed to, bring black, I don't know who they is, because it's so common. But what I did is this says Prone to Wander. It's a beautiful sticker from Hosanna Revival, and I can link that up as well. And so I know it's my bag. And when it's carry-on, it's not like it's going to be away from me anyway. But this is away, and I have a big suitcase also that I have a sticker on so that I know it's mine. And then on the inside, everything, because I never really liked hard sides before because I felt like they all kind of spilled open when you opened them. But the straps are in here to create here. So this opens up as well. I don't know if you can see this. I haven't even used it yet. So you can have a whole other storage area there. So, and it's a spinner. So it has great ease of use. And I really love that. And then I guess like the last packing note that I'll mention, and I know I'm skipping over a ton here, but this is already really long, so I want to just try to get to the next phase, is you're going to need a rain jacket. So, depending on what time of year, obviously, check that. But I love Athleta. This coat, this rain jacket actually converts into a fanny pack. So I think that's pretty cool. I got it on sale. I mean, you can still just take the arms and tie it around your waist, but I like that it does convert to a fanny pack. Because fanny packs are coming back, So that's another tip that I would say. But again, I think if there's anything that I would stress, it would be don't try to go all fancy. Just be comfortable, be modest, and recognize that this trip is going to be an emotional trip. So that's probably the big thing. And I guess to tie onto that, one of the things that I would say in regards to your experience is prepare yourself that you are going to be frustrated that there isn't enough time. And I can say that in every trip that I've ever taken, whether I have been in Assisi or, to be quite honest with you, at Auschwitz, and the profound moment of being there and trying to take in what it is you're actually standing in around and what occurred in the soil where you are. And then you're kind of being herded like sheep onto the next thing, onto the next thing. So then, especially also with the Holy Land, you are there on the Mount of Beatitudes and you just want a minute. I mean, we have so much sensory overload. We're processing so much. And to just want to sit and be and contemplate what shows up, right, in your spirit and how the Holy Spirit's speaking. It is not going to be enough time. Every tour is different. Every group is different. And so you may be given more time. You may be given a pilgrimage where you're seeing less, but you're spending more time at those places, or one like we're preparing to go to, which we're seeing as much as we can, but in those places we're very limited with the time that we will have. So that's why I think it's important to know that going in. I know we had a photographer on one of our trips and he said, this is so frustrating. I can't set up my shot. We're just going on to the next thing. I think that's the blessing of iPhones too, right? You can just kind of point and shoot and go on. The last tip that I want to share with you is something that I discovered. I don't know if it's cognitive therapy. I don't even know. I'm sure there's some neuroscience behind it, but I haven't studied it. And that is the power of music connected to your trip. So years ago when I would go to the beach, I would have a beach soundtrack that I would only listen to when I was at the beach. And then I would kind of save it like a dessert. So in the middle of winter, I live in Ohio, when it was really dreary and I was having a bad day and I was doing the dishes, I would put that beach music on. And you know, whether it's songs you grew up hearing or you listen to with your family, as soon as that melody comes on, it takes you back. And that's what happened with my beach music. So I have decided to use that in my pilgrimages as well. So I had music that I brought with me when I would go on pilgrimage to Italy and then to the Holy Land. And so those songs, now I think it's also important to not be shut out. You don't want to just have earbuds in the whole time and be missing out on everything. So I think that that's a cautionary note as well. But there are times, like I can tell you when we were there at the Church of the Nativity, and there were people pushing and the crowd was all around, and it was not anything like I imagined. It was super chaotic. What I did then was I was able to put my music in and completely, like a time machine, be transformed back and shut everything else out and really be able to enter into what was going on and the mystery and the magnitude of it all. So then coming home, I really don't listen to that music. I mean, I think it's part of us. If you're in a liturgical faith, this happens frequently. We have songs that we only play in Christmas time, during Advent. There are songs that come out during Lent when we're preparing for Easter. So I think in the same way, there can be a pilgrimage soundtrack that you prepare and bring out and use and sprinkle in throughout your time. And I just think that that's a beautiful way to not only enter in deeply while you're there, but after you come home in years afterward. So those are just a few things, I think more than a few, but thank you for sticking with me, and let me know if you want any more tips and ideas. I know, again, I skipped over a lot, but these are just a few that I wanted to share from my experience that I thought you might like too. God bless you. Thanks for watching.